Hi, welcome. So in today's video, I will be talking about what your startup category falls in. Basically, startup is startup. If you talk about startup, any new business that's starting in the market, targeting a clientele based startup. But actually, it can be divided into two basic categories so that you need to understand how your startup is different and which category your startup actually falls in. Okay, so without wasting more time, let's get started with today's video. And hi guys, I'm Shivam and welcome to Startup Works. Now, the two categories. So I have divided the basic definition of startup or the basic word startup in two different categories, which is unique and normal startup and a small business. Now, a small business can be termed a startup, but basically it is not a startup, and the way you approach or work in a startup is not as similar you work in a small business. Small business is different, its clienting base is different, its marketing technique is different, and every procedure that a small business follows is different. Now, let's take an example to understand it better. Suppose you are starting a mall in your locality. Now, it is limited by the consumers that is already available in your locality. You don't need to have a USP, or you don't need to build a mall in different way. Every other mall, if I look or you look in your locality, is more or less same. They doesn't need to have a USP or a unique idea or solve a problem. So that's a small business. You cannot term it as startup. Many companies or many malls do term their business as startups, and many malls have failed in getting the right traction they need. On the other end, let's talk about startup. Startup should have a USP, and a startup should solve a problem. If a startup or your business is not solving a problem and it's like similar business that's already in the market, you cannot term it as startup. Every different business has different procedure to approach. So basically you need to understand what your business is. Is it a startup or is it a small business? So don't confuse your startup with a small business. Every other business have different way of operating in the market, and a small business should act differently to survive and operate in the market, and a startup should act differently to survive and operate in the market. A startup should validate their idea, but if I talk about small business, their idea is already validated and many other competitors are already doing in the market. So you need to study, you need to think about your idea, that what your idea category is, in which category your idea falls in. Once you get the concept of what difference a startup and a small business is, it will be much more easier for you to bring traction, because if I talk about startup, traction is the most important thing that you need to get before entering in the market. So that's it for today's video guys. I hope your doubt is now clear. So don't confuse, just think and operate in a right manner. Every other business or every other startup or a small business is different. The way they act is different, and the way you need to operate them is completely different. So that's a simple and clear concept. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to comment down or go to my Instagram and ask me there. And if you want me to make a video on any particular topic, go and ask me in Instagram. Just give me a text or just send me a message. I will make a video on that. So I will meet you guys in the next video. Until next time, don't forget to keep upgrading yourself. If you're in the world of startup, you need to keep on learning every minute. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye.